Good morning, dear ones, and happy Monday. The holidays can be a little rough for some people if we've suffered loss and we're missing someone at the table. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is just what I've lived through and what's helped me and help you to recognize if you're still grieving and how to move forward. You have to move through it, and it's okay to sit with it as long as you like. But your happiness, it does matter. Your happiness matters. So let's get into this. In my lifetime, I've had some phone calls that have come in. My notes are upside down. Good grief. The call that makes you hold your breath, the words you can't unhear. So in my lifetime, I've had too many of those phone calls that I answer, and I'll never unhear those words. And there's nothing I can say. There are no words to say that I have found to bring people comfort. Good morning, Alexis. I'm going to talk about today good grief and how to make sure that you can prioritize your happiness even when we're missing somebody we love and they won't be here for our holidays. So I'm just talking about the phone call that comes in that gives you this bad news and leaves you speechless, leaves you frozen. You can't unhear it. And then to offer sympathy or condolences, there just are no words. For me, there are no words. So what I have found, what has helped me most, is the gestures of others that love me. So it's not the words that they say, it's the fact that they sent the message. So if you know someone suffering with loss is part of life. Grief is the penalty we pay for loving someone. And so it's part of life. And if you know someone who's suffering, send the message. Give them the hug. Mail the card. Make the gesture. The gesture is what matters most to me because there are no words. So a friend of mine shared with me, it's probably been a year ago, this great YouTube video. If I could find it, I'll post it this week, on empathy. And that video helped me understand empathy. Not sympathy, not condolences, but what it is to be empathetic. So when someone is grieving, we all grieve differently. So to be empathetic is to match the energy of that person. So when someone passes away and someone is grieving, to be empathetic, if you're sad, I'm sad. Let's just sit here and be sad for a while. If you're mad, I'm mad. Let's hash this out. If you need a drink, girl, I'm pouring the wine. Let's sip on some wine. If you want to celebrate, because that feels good, let's go celebrate. If you want to laugh because otherwise you'll cry, I'll tell you a joke. I'll make you smile. So that's what empathy is. The question that we always say is, are you okay? Of course they're not okay. They just lost someone they love. Of course they're not okay. We want them to be okay though, don't we? We do. So I try very hard to say, how are you feeling? Because if I know how they're feeling, let's match that energy and let's go with it. And do you want me to cheer you up? Do you want to stay sad? Do you want to go smack some golf balls or something and get rid of this anger? That's what it's like to be empathetic. All of us, when we receive this news, when we've lost someone, we feel vulnerable. And I hate feeling vulnerable. But we have to. It's part of the human emotion. It's part of our human journey. Good morning, Morgan. Being vulnerable is part of our human journey. And what I don't like about it is it makes me feel helpless. Sometimes it makes you feel shame. Shame on me. I should have called them one more time. Shame on me. I should have went out there to visit. Shame on me. I should have checked on them. You know, it feels shame and it feels helpless, like there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can say. It's just part of the human emotions is vulnerability. But if you let that wall down and you let others in, you will feel better. You will feel better, and you will be a stronger person for letting people see you be vulnerable. So coming on here today, oh, I swear to you, if one of my sisters pops on, I'm probably going to cry. I'm going to lose it. And I knew that when I came on, and that's me being vulnerable. Like, oh boy, try to hold it together. This is a tough topic. You know why? Because we love so deeply. So the ones you love, love them hard. That's what this has taught me. Losing people that I love, the ones that are still here now, if they love me, I love them hard. I do the small things to show appreciation and gratitude in my love. And the ones that I've lost, I still talk to them. I still pray to them. I still include them. Their souls are still with us. Thank you for the love. Good morning, Caitlin. So one of my favorite quotes is from Buddha, and it says, "The trouble is, you think you have time." You think you have time with your dear ones. You might, but we don't know, do we? We don't know how much time we have. Good morning, Hillary. Talking about grief and working through those emotions. So the person that has passed, the person you have lost, be the things you loved about the people who are gone. What did you love about that person? Be the good that they brought to the world. Sit and think about that this Christmas. Who's not at the table, and what did you love about them? Be that. Do that. If that person was the glue, step up and be the glue. If that person never missed somebody's birthday, you make birthdays a priority now. So darkness has its teachings. That's why we have darkness, so that we can appreciate the light. Darkness has its teaching, and what is there to be learned? So I kind of went through the losses in my life, the people that are not here. And what did those grieving situations teach me? So I'm going to share that with you. It taught me to seek the truth. It taught me to not waste time. It taught me to live out my vision for my life. It taught me to accept my loved ones for who they are, with their strengths and their weaknesses, in spite of those flaws. It taught me to trust God and accept this loss in faith. That was a hard lesson for me to learn. And it taught me to let others in. We need each other. We do. Now, if you're not sure if you're grieving or what grief is, it does have physical symptoms to it. Good morning, Ruth. So how does grief physically feel? You'll feel overwhelmed. You'll feel confused. Your sleep will change. You might have bad dreams. Crying, of course. Sometimes you just want to be alone. You're restless. Stress will manifest itself physically somewhere in the body. There will be aches and pains possibly. Anxiety attacks. And those moments or those days where you just can't breathe. And I have felt all of that before when I've lost loved ones. So I recognize that I'm grieving. And there's things out there that will help. I've used flower remedies to help me open my heart and help me release these emotions. Hillary's on here, she does Reiki. But the idea is you have to take care of yourself with some self-love. You need to open your heart and love yourself through your grief like you would give that love to someone else who is hurting because they lost someone. So that empathy that you give to others, you give it to yourself. Your happiness matters. Your broken heart needs your love. You can find comfort in the love that lies in your heart. So get rid of that shame. Get rid of that feeling of helplessness. Reach out to others and reach out to yourself and love yourself through the grief. Do anything that feels nourishing to your soul. I really hope this helps. The holidays can be so hard when people aren't here that we wish were, but it's really important to remember them during these times. So if you have a tradition to remember your loved one, maybe it's an ornament or mentioning their name at dinner, whatever you do to bring them into the circle, do it. Whatever feels right to you. I love you all. I'm glad you're all here. In the comments, if you'd like to start a prayer chain for your loved one, I am happy to pray for the people that are not here this Christmas for you. So if you want to drop a name in the comments, I will say a little prayer for your loved one. Okay? So just keep in mind, kind of recap this for you. When you get that call or someone is hurting, there's nothing you can say, but make the gesture. And the ones that are here that love you, love them hard. If you are grieving, give yourself as much love as you can. Okay? And happy holidays. Next Monday, I'll make sure to make the next one a little bright and cheerful. But it can't always be that way. That's not life, right? But we can always find the good. Remember, even the darkness teaches us a lesson. Love you all, and Merry Christmas. I'll say it a couple more times. A few weeks to go before we get there. Have a great week. Thank you for the love. Love you too.